3.
It's Kyle, Meredith, the weekly feed. We're at Bonnaroo. I've got the ladies from Haim here. Welcome to Bonnaroo.
Yeah!
I actually can't believe we're here.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Why this one?
Well, no, because it's like a rock and roll bucket list thing.
That's
I think
true.
for us, and I think it was always kind of a dream.
Yeah.
First of all, Danielle already played it.
Who did you play?
Yeah, I played with Jenny Lewis
Right.
4 years ago.
Yeah.
So for us, it was kind of like, well,
What? We gotta
she's
catch
already
up.
Played it.
Gotta
now,
catch up.
We gotta catch up.
Yeah.
So it was always kind of like, oh, one day we'll get there. And now that we're here, it's kind of the craziest
Sure.
thing.
What do you guys have, first off, for what you guys have accomplished, and we should probably do the usual kind of story here, but what you guys have accomplished without having a full-length debut out, just off the singles out there, off the EPs out there, it's kind of, it's amazing.
Thank you.
It's amazing. This day and age, so much music in the world, right? So much music, and to actually kind of cut through that has got to mean that there's something special going on, and I think that's proved itself.
You're gonna make me cry. I'm really emotional today.
This is your Barbara Walters interview.
Emotional.
I'm only gonna try, yeah.
Good. No, it's allergies. Actually.
Got right to my heart.
Yeah.
God.
Well, there's some fun stories because, okay, so you had the family band when you were young, you had to miss, there's a story about someone missing Coachella and throwing a big fit because you had a gig.
Oh yeah. We had this yearly standing
Sure.
gig anniversary, and it's always the weekend of Coachella. So every year we couldn't go.
So 16-year-old Esty was really bummed out.
Yeah. 16-year-old Esty was just bummed in general, but really not being able. Oh my God.
That's the rain.
That's the rain. God, that's the rain.
Alanis Morissette said this is
16-year-old
lucky.
Esty is coming out.
Yeah, this was what my mind looked like as a 16-year-old.
Well, Bonnaroo, you get one thing. You get the Mud Bowl or the Dust Bowl. It's part of it. The show goes on. So you guys, it's going to be, you're going to have your glycerine moment here.
We're not really used to this. Either our glycerine moment or our blind melon moment. No rain.
That's right.
See?
Well done.
Took it even
I see what
further
you did
back.
there.
See what I did there?
There is someone playing here. You guys probably aren't going to stay the whole time. You got other gigs?
I know, we have to go.
Yeah,
We have to
and
go.
Tom Petty's playing Sunday night.
Oh, there's just this guy.
Yeah.
You know.
I don't want to hear it. Don't.
There's something that comes around, and there's a come around. So you guys have had to deal with the new band comparisons. There's always like the Fleetwood Mac thing. So you got Tom Petty, and Tom says, "Hey, come up here and sing the Stevie Nicks part." Do you do it?
Oh my God.
Yes.
Do you do
if
it?
Tom Petty said, go jump off a bridge, I would do it.
Yeah.
Are you kidding? I would do anything Tom Petty asked me
Yeah.
to
If Tom
do.
Petty called, would you answer?
I probably would, yeah,
Yeah.
but I wouldn't sing with him. I don't have the
Oh,
chops that you
come
have,
on.
I feel like if Tom
Just
Petty
get there and
looked you in the
clap.
eye and said, you need to sing right now, I
Yeah.
feel like the
Yeah, that's
gods
probably
would
one of
just,
those.
you would literally turn
That's it.
into...
Those baby blues. How
yeah.
can you deny?
That's true.
You know?
I think you would literally turn into Placido Domingo
Yeah.
and just,
It would just be
go
right
on.
there.
It would just be like
It's
a
almost
really...
like being knighted,
Yeah.
It's like, and here you go.
Tom
Now
Petty
you can
says,
sing.
you gotta go, and then
A
that's
boy
what
can hope,
happens.
Yeah, you guys are close
Sunday.
to it.
I know you're gonna be like
I'm
right
gonna
up
be up there.
against,
I'm
like
gonna
right
do
up
it.
against the
I'll do the
rails.
Stevie Nicks parts for you. I'll even throw a fist up in the air for you because of trivia,
yeah.
Stop dragging my.
So January rolls around, you win the Sound of 2013,
Pretty cray.
which is huge. I was just talking to last year's winner, Michael Kiwanuka.
Oh yeah. Was he here?
Not here. This was at South by. We were talking. I pointed over there. 'Cause
Yeah,
I think
like
that's
you have
Texas.
it there.
I think that's Texas.
Yeah.
But he was talking about like that really does change your life, like overnight. Like they had to prep him and everything. Like, listen, this is going to come out tomorrow and your life's going to change. Did that happen with you guys at all?
No,
I mean, he
definitely
lives in
did
England
not
for
happen.
one, so.
Yeah.
We lived in LA, and by then we were already back in LA. We had just finished the Forest
Yeah.
Machine. And we were kind of, I don't know.
It definitely
Like,
wasn't a
moved
life
from
changer.
that.
Well, what happened was like since we were recording and like all the, I think they had like stand-in Haims do some stuff in England while we were recording.
They found lookalikes.
They found lookalikes.
Yeah. So
We kind of, honestly,
But-
we kind of were like
Yeah.
so shocked by it
Yeah.
that
It-
we didn't.
It didn't change our lives. It kind of just like lit a fire under our butts
Sure.
to just keep working
Sure.
and keep going for it. It was never like a thing like, let's sit on our
Yeah, it's like,
laurels
we
and
made it,
bask in the glory. It was like, okay,
Coast
let's
it from
work
here.
3
Yeah,
million
no.
times harder.
Yeah, we're like,
But that
okay,
is
now
cool
we're
because
doing
you
the
did do it without the full length, and I'm not sure that matters as much these days that you do have the full length. And obviously, it doesn't matter as much. It seems like, but so that's something you guys are working on.
Yeah.
So you did the EPs, and there was this time, this amount of space that you did, whatever the reason was. So what was the reason? You do the EPs, and now this amount of time. Is it because you signed to Columbia and they're saying, we got to craft it a certain way? Or,
No, I think
what
it's
was it?
funny. Like we just did not expect any anything really from the EP. We had been a band for 6 years, playing our own songs all around LA, and nothing was really going on. So when we made the EP, we kind of were like, okay, this is kind of like, we hadn't really released anything before, really. We just had stuff streaming on our MySpace,
which we didn't want to release.
we never like officially like release, which release means give it to our friends on Facebook.
Right,
That's what we did, you know. So you know, looking back, maybe we should have recorded more songs during the span of time we recorded the EP. We really didn't expect.
I mean, we really do. I mean, as you say, like, I guess records, there's like albums, I guess, aren't as popular, but to us, I mean, I've always been a record kind of person. Like, there's some records that you can listen to backwards from like start to finish, and it's like a whole, like, that's what I want our record to be like. I wish, and we got, everything kind of happened so quickly, and like we got offered all these amazing tours, and what we love to do is tour. Like, it doesn't matter, like, if I can tour, I will tour until my fingers bleed. Like, I don't care. But so when someone's like, hey, do you want to go on tour with Florence and the Machine, you're kind of not like, no, I'll pass. I'll actually take the back seat on that one.
We
Like,
freaked out.
we freaked out. You can't say no to that.
She's
a goddess.
Just runs around in that dress with the voice belting out.
Yeah. And on top of everything, she's also like the downest chick ever.
Oh yeah, she's a goddess.
Coolest girl ever, and so much fun to hang out with, and like really fun, and like likes having dance parties backstage.
So you guys actually get like all of the prep and everything, the do's and don'ts before you even have to properly introduce yourself to the world. Like, you have all of these people that they're taking you on tour. It's like, hey, here are the ropes, kids. Not that you exactly needed them. I mean, you guys have a history.
Yeah, I mean, like we've played music together since we were babies.
Right.
But being able to be on tour with like Florence and Julian and Mumford and Sons has just been like, for us it's mostly
been a
just
party.
fun.
Sure.
You know? So
So speaking of the history, I don't want to be kind of a history lesson interview, but you were once signed to Columbia. You know, there was another band and everything.
way back in the
Right.
day.
Now, for something like that, an entirely different sound, is that at this point kind of like, you know what? Is that something you're trying to escape? Or is it something you kind of try to sweep under the rug, like, this is completely different?
No, not even, because we were so young when it happened, and it was such a short period of time, and I think that it was fun while it lasted. And we look back on it kind of like, oh yeah, that was like, you know, something fun that Danielle and I did, you know, for like a year, and then we realized that we really wanted to make our, you know, write our own music. Really, that was like the big thing. And so we just kind of were like, okay, well, we'll try writing songs together. And we did, and it worked, and here we are now.
So how did that come about? Because you guys kind of came from, you know, growing up on classic rock and the Americana sound and everything, and that's obviously not what comes out of your music. Was there ever a point where you said, we want this big rhythmic sound? You know, where does that come from within you guys to say that's, and to hear that that's what happened?
I think well, all of our first instruments were the drums.
Yeah.
Okay.
Our dad's a drummer, so we learned drums when we were 4, you know, each of us. I think that's kind of where the percussive element of our music comes. I mean, we love R&B, which is very percussive. We love Prince, who I think is his melodies are super percussive. So I think it's just kind of, you know, funk. It's all very.
I guess it's the whole thing about when you learn that, you know, anyone, you know, musicians were kind of raised on one sound, especially when they hit their teenage years and early 20s, that just becomes a defining sound. Oh, it's so easy to play a blues riff, you know, or something like that.
Right.
To kind of turn around, I guess that's the interesting twist of where you guys came from to where you are now.
Well, yeah, I think that, but also, I mean, growing up, like Danielle said, our dad was on the drums when we were really, really young, but my mom was really into folk. When we were good kids, we got to listen to Top 40 radio.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, there was...
It's a great thing. I have a kid, that would never ever work. Like, I'm going to let you listen to the radio and say, I am going to jump on this couch.
Right,
Suck it.
I'm going to go on my iPad, Dad, so suck it.
No, my parents, growing up, my parents didn't like Top 40 radio. Because all we wanted to listen to was like Tupac and Biggie and TLC and Destiny's Child, and like my parents just did not get that music. They got some of it, they liked some of it until like a bad word came on.
My dad loved the newer Santana record.
The Rob Thomas one.
Right.
That was like the one thing. That was like the top 40 thing. Where I was like, actually, Dad, I'll pass.
Yeah, like we don't have to listen to the radio.
I have to listen to Rob Thomas.
Still playing dozens of times a day. Somewhere.
Yeah, I know.
I think I heard it in our hotel.
We heard Maria.
Maria.
For versions on the fly.
What's that story?
Yeah. That was, my dad.
So that was that,
Yeah.
That happened.
And Dad also liked Ricky Martin.
Dad loved. My dad
Kind of
loved
seems
Latin
like that
music.
goes hand in hand, right?
Yeah. My dad loved Latin music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
So what do we expect then from the full that we haven't already heard? Much of the songs on the EP, are they going to be on there, or is this kind
Some of those.
Yeah,
There's a lot of new songs that we wrote that we haven't played live yet, and then there's just some fun jams we've been playing live. It's kind of just party album.
Yeah.
Tyler's party album.
Well, so then with everything that's happened, and I got to ask about this when we're going to head into the personal life of one thing, because of an interview you said, you know, all these songs about bad relationships.
Oh yeah.
Now you're put out. Now you're put out, you know, out there. Does that make dating easier or more difficult?
I mean, really, our songs, like, I feel like a lot of our songs are an accumulation of a bunch of different stories. It's not like, this is the Bob song.
Yeah.
Sure, no,
Like,
you don't have the
We're not
Adele
making a
album.
Taylor
Right?
Swift.
It's not that. Yeah.
Sorry, Bob. Bob was the first dude name that came into my brain. Bob.
Yeah.
This is the Bob song. But Bob Saget is gonna be here.
Have you enjoyed the new season?
Maybe it's about Bob Saget.
Bob Saget's gonna be
Bob
there.
Saget is here.
He's gonna
yes.
be here. Is he here today?
I know he's here on Sunday. I don't know
Has-
if
he went to high school with my mom.
Is that right?
No big
In
deal.
Abington High
Philly.
School.
No big deal. But yeah, we are very
360.
poetic.
And we're very connected apparently.
Us and Bob Saget?
I mean, he went to high school with mom,
And now you're here.
and now we're here.
And now we're here. Oh
Yeah.
no.
More connections than a telephone call.
Get your Danny Tanner fix while you're at it.
Oh my
Uncle
god.
Jesse.
In my dreams.
Yeah.
In my dreams.
Uncle Danny.
Cut it out.
Cut it out.
Now
But
it's
yeah,
gonna
on
be
the
a fun moment
personal
of this.
note, yeah, we're
Yeah.
very poetic with our songs.
Sure you are, and I guess that's the thing, and I don't mean to make that a kind of a gender issue at all.
No.
That goes with anybody that writes songs about relationships. Like, okay, you've gone from obscurity to a certain sense of fame, and now here's dating in a new light. Like, here's something like you have to actually worry about who you're going to wake up next to. You know.
I don't know if we're at that stage yet. I don't know. I don't think we'll ever be at the stage where people actually care who I'm dating.
Yeah.
I really don't think so. But
Music's my boyfriend right now, though.
Music is
He's
good.
a good
Yeah,
boyfriend. He's
yeah.
a good boyfriend.
Always
He's
there.
for me.
Always there.
always there.
Always there for me. Lends an ear.
Sure.
You know.
Sure.
Fun to snuggle with. I'm always big spoon.
Can be angry when
He's
you need to
always
be
little
angry.
spoon.
Baby spoon.
Baby spoon,
Perfect.
big spoon.
All right. I cannot wait to hear the debut. Seriously, that's later this year, right?
I can't wait for you to hear it either.
Later this year. Okay. Okay. Haim, thank you so much.
Yeah.
All done.